And so there's a part of me that's attached to ISTDP that is going, oh, wow, this is a disappointment, you know, that we're not getting more. But in my mind, this is part of the ordinary therapy slog. You know, it's not always major success. Sometimes it's just slower and more meandering. And this is part of a day in the life of a therapist. You just don't always have these glorious sessions. And there's still something productive happening. You know, he's learning about himself. We're still collaborating. We're still working things out. See, he wasn't sufficiently connected to it. See, when people are sufficiently connected to the anger and the aggression, and the sadistic impulse, and I use this intervention, you know, if they say, you know, oh, I really want them to be scared or hurt or whatever, and I call them a name, or I do this, I push them or whatever. Let's say it's in the transference, and I push you, and then I say, but then if I say to you, that didn't hurt, then what happens with the anger? If they're more connected to it, they always bounce back. Ooh, then I would do it harder, then I would do it stronger. I would really, you know, it makes them bounce back. But he's not doing that now, so it means he wasn't sufficiently connected to it.
I just really enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, it's just really nice, the tempo and for progress and your contact with him all the time. It's very inspiring for me. I mean, if I could only do that, I mean, not only do that, I mean, what you're saying about the breakthroughs, but this being in contact with him, and it's very clear that you have him on board. And so I think it's beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. I get very inspired seeing it.
Wow.
So, you know, the breakthroughs, I think they were, and also that he's wrapping things up himself. He's making connections himself. He's actually connecting the dots. I like that. You know, that's the point. Sometimes when, as a therapist, you relax a little bit because some things they're getting it, or something is taking over the job in a way on his level. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks, Peter. That means a lot. Oh, that warms my heart. Thank you very much. You see how easily I could blow him out of the waters, and I could step into the shoes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And as I can also see that sometimes I go for, you know, prematurely for putting pressure on and go for some unlockings, and so it's really helpful for me to sort of filling in the gaps. Sometimes there's some gaps I don't get.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Okay, cool. Like a few years ago, when I had more of this ISTDP attachment disorder, I probably would have just kept pressing, thinking that if I just get a higher rise and all of that. The issue is I lost a lot of clients. People just didn't come back, or some of them even stormed out of the session. Not that many, but it happened every now and then. Someone would just storm out of the session. And I was really attached to applying, you know, the central dynamic sequence as I had read about it. And I just blew people out of the waters. And so I'm glad that you see the value of what I'm doing here.
Absolutely. And I usually keep most of my clients, so I guess I must be doing something right, you know, about the rapport and the contact. But it's very inspiring and reminding for me to see your work. I can recognize some of the things that I can recognize. You know, I would do the same there. It feels. It also seems like you're working sometimes a bit, I dare to say, intuitively, because I know you have a very well, you know, technical, all that. But it's like, you know, you're using your own emotions to stay in touch with him.
Yes.
And that's I like that.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
So, looking forward to next time, definitely.
That means a lot.
Next time. So I'm just going to hang in here and learn what I can from you.
That's so nice to hear. And I've seen your work. I just think you're an excellent therapist.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm still a student, you know. We're all students.
Always a work in progress. Yeah. Gali, how about you? Any reflections?
It was a beautiful session. I really enjoyed it and inspired. And it was great to see a lot of learning.
I pay attention to a number of things. One is unconscious patient supervision, meaning indirect feedback about how they feel about me in the transference. So I don't think that's always the case. I don't think that every time someone talks about a story in the sea that they're trying to communicate how they feel about you. It happens. It's a real thing that we should be mindful of, but it's not like every time they talk about something else that they're trying to say how they feel about you. So I'm not in that camp. I don't believe in that. If there even is such a camp, I don't know. But I'm mindful of that. And then I'm mindful of the actual content, like that they might actually be saying something important about what happened in the sea that they're having feelings about. I was looking for, is this just a natural, healthy victory lap that he's celebrating what's going well, right? Or does it cross a line? Like at a certain point, I thought it crossed a line and I saw more of the self-soothing and he seemed anxious and his eyes started darting. So my thinking was, okay, it felt like a healthy victory lap for the first 2 minutes. And then now when he's lingering there, now it seems like it's crossed the line and now he seems to be in the upper left corner, meaning now it's defensive. Yeah, I am always looking at how is what the patient's sharing connected to what they said their priorities are for the treatment. And sometimes I don't see the connection. And then I'll just say, this could be me, maybe I'm having a bad day, but I don't see the connection between what you're talking about right now and what you said you wanted my help with. You know, can you just explain it to me? Sometimes they'll just explain it and it really was me, like it's not a manipulation. I'm genuinely open to the fact that maybe I missed something or whatever, I just didn't get it. And they just need to explain it to me and then I see the connection. At other times, they're just off somewhere, you know, diversifying in their defenses, you know, avoiding what needs to be gotten to, and then we hone in on that and clarify whether or not that's happening. So yeah, I look for how does this actually relate to what they said they wanted my help with. Either it does relate or it doesn't, but if I'm not sure, I just ask. I say, you know, maybe this relates, but I don't see. Can you help me see the connection here? Does that get to your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, good. We got to it. Yay, good. All right. Good. All right. Take care, you guys. Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
I know.
Good weekend.